Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I am Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I am Tommy. Ho, ho, ho.
It is the day after Halloween as of recording this, so you know what that means, everybody.
Christmas!
It is now Christmas. It is now Christmas. This podcast was filmed by ChatGPT. But no, y'all, it's Christmas time because we're skipping Thanksgiving this year. We're going straight to our Christmas theme because why not?
We'll take like a 3-day break, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we might have we'll have like a turkey intro, and then we'll get like right back to Christmas.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
But welcome everybody to the show. If you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast. You leave a like, you leave a comment, and you follow us on all of our social media. That is linked down below. That is Instagram, Twitch, and
Twix.
TikTok.
Left Twix or right Twix?
Right Twix.
No Twix.
Yeah, Jackson, you fat ass eating all the candy all the time.
I hate you and I hate hybrid the most. But continue.
But make sure that you follow us on all of our social media, and if you haven't already, make sure that you click that join button next to the subscribe button to help us out. You get a little icon next to your name. You get access to bloopers and all that fun stuff.
It's cheap.
It's only 99 cents.
It is.
So what better way to help the podcast out than just click
There is
that
a better
join
way
button.
you could help out the podcast.
If you do want to help the podcast a little better, make sure that you go over to our I'm talking!
POV Jackson during Tika's trading post.
The intrusive thoughts beat me, bro.
But
I'll get to interrupt y'all interrupt me on Tika's.
it's so funny. But we're gonna make sure that you go and click that Patreon. There's 3 tiers, 3 ways to support us on Patreon. But the top is our Gungan Boss tier at $13.13 a month. You get all of the tiers, you get all the exclusive access, including access to our private Discord, and you get entered into a giveaway every month. Last month we gave away 2 figures because we forgot to do the month before, so we gave away a double beheader for Halloween as well as the Halloween.
Oh, Jacob,
contest.
what are we doing now?
Ooh.
Oppo.
Giving away Oppo. And actually, that's another reason. That's more incentive to join the membership or join the Patreon.
Is it really that funny, though?
If you join the Patreon or the membership, you also get access to our blooper reels for Tika's trading post, and that you get access to watch Jackson become extremely aggravated by being mildly
Just a bully
inconvenienced.
session, dude. That's all y'all do to me.
Well,
bro.
no, it's because everybody else, if they get mildly inconvenienced, they just shake it off. You're the only one that freaks out
Bro,
about it.
'cause I just want to record. It took us 45 minutes to record what's going to be a 15-minute video.
And that's the beauty of it.
More like a 6-minute video, actually.
Probably.
But it's wow. Maybe
The Tika Yap
maybe
Sesh went crazy, though.
maybe the real Tika is the friends we make along the way.
I hate that you said
The fans we made along the way. I watched
So-
Lost Boys. Watch it, it's good.
Lost Boys.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
It's a
like-
human trafficking movie.
Ooh, never mind.
No, it's a movie from the 80s about like vampires in California, and they're all like bad boys, and their whole thing is they just kill people. It's like a horror movie.
It's like what you dream about yourself.
It's like FNAF scary. It's like
FNAF, but scary.
no, it's like
we all
FNAF
saw
scary. I mean,
FNAF.
it's like it's not scary. Yeah, we all saw the FNAF.
And
movie.
none of us saw it together. we all saw
we planned to see it together, and then we all
You
saw it.
planned to see
no,
it together.
before we saw it, we all planned to see it together, and then Tommy and I were gonna go, and then I couldn't go, and then you and I were gonna go, and then we couldn't go, so I just sat in my room and watched it by myself.
I say, if you're a FNAF fan, it was a solid movie.
Yes.
And I'm really
It's fun.
excited for the
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah, I agree.
Hoping they make more soon.
Does he come back? He always comes back.
He always
Always
comes
comes back.
Ooh, spoilers. But no, go see it if you haven't already, or it's already on Peacock. Just watch it there, so you don't have to deal with kids.
Or say peacock. Nobody bats an eye.
But what do you say?
Say poopcock. Everyone loses their mind.
Everyone loses their mind.
How's everybody's week?
My week was good. I'm now moving from first shift to third shift. So I am training myself to stay up all night and sleep all day. And it is going not well so far.
Vampire.
I've been going to bed
You
at
should
like
watch Lost Boys. They'll teach you.
I've been going to bed at like 1 a.m. and waking up at 4:30 and going, I can't sleep. So
Yep.
tonight I'm going to try and pull an all-nighter. So
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Nice. What about you, Jacob?
I also put up all my Christmas decorations today.
Already.
Yeah.
The weather's nice. You might as well do it.
Yep.
My week has been good, but it felt really long, and today especially I was in a pissy mood, like in class. And Malcolm was like, "All right, guys, for homework, we're gonna hang 5 objects on the wall, and one of them has to be a mirror, and then you have to draw that." And I was like, "Really?"
Malcolm,
And he was like, "Do you have a better idea?" I was like, "I don't got a mirror." He's like, "Go to the fucking dollar store and get a mirror." I was like, "Are you gonna pay for my gas?" He's like, "Where's the sass coming from?" I was like,
Jacob said, "Malcolm, will you be one of the objects?"
"Malcolm, can I hang you on my wall?" But no, I was gonna say something about him.
You were telling a story.
I know. I can't remember what it was.
You're starting your yap sesh.
I was starting my yap sesh about Malconi.
On goodness.
What did it start? Do you remember what the context was?
No. You were talking about your drawing class.
Oh, so remember how during the Halloween stream I was wearing that Thrawn shirt? And or like during our
Thracket, or no, that was the shirt, right?
When I was during not the stream, but our cookie video. So I was wearing that in his class, and he was just like, "Now what?" Because I always wear band merch to his class, and he was like, "What band is this?" I was like, "Oh, this is actually a Star Wars shirt, meant to look like a band shirt." And then today he was asking like about mythology, and he was like, "Jacob, you should know." I was like, "It's Athena, but why should I know this?" And he's like, "Cause you were wearing the mythology shirt." I'm like, "The Star Wars character?" He's like, "Yeah, with Wan Dong. What the fuck was his name?" I was like, "Thrawn." He's like, "Wing Wong, whatever." I was like,
Wing Wong.
I was like, "Malcolm, you can't say that." So, yeah, that was my mouth. Other than that, my week's been fine. It was Halloween. And then I spent like 5 hours editing the Halloween special. So if you haven't watched it already, go watch it. If you did watch it already, go watch it again. Yeah, because I poured my heart and soul into it.
It was a lot of fun. I watched it 3 times already.
I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I do think it was kind of cool having the 2 camera setup plus the camera on my glasses.
It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it made it more entertaining to watch.
It's right now. It's like a 3-way tie on who had the best cookies. So make sure to go comment and vote. Yeah. Who had the best cookies? Vote for Ood.
I have the best.
Vote for Ood.
Vote for Sucka Lips Witch.
Vote for my cat. I just ate it today on break.
Vote for Cracked Out Kitty. My cat Cracked Out Kitty, because that one actually looks good.
My Cracked Out Kitty was better.
Jackson's kitty's cracked out. Jackson's cracked out kitty is unintentionally cracked. It just looks like shit.
My cookies heard, yours did not.
Okay, that should be reason enough to not vote for me.
Leave the show.
And what was that? All right, guys. Today we're having a guest on the show. It is none other than Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams, can you please? Wendy Williams is a fat whale.
So
no, we don't ask how Jackson's week went. We just keep going. Jackson, how was your week?
There's a lot that has been happening. I mean, this is gonna happen.
Jackson, what did you do this week, man?
I had a lot. So I am going to be moving into a new apartment soon, which is really cool. I got my job preference for the Army, so that was really exciting and cool. I might or might not be in town by the summer, and I might be moving to an island, but we'll see. 1313 podcast goes remote.
No, I'm not sacrificing the quality. We'll put you on the TV.
We'll give you the Skywalker
Hendrix
treatment.
Give you the Skywalker Hendrix treatment.
Put you on the TV.
You'll be in the TV, like right where your chair is. Or we'll get like the Karen bot from SpongeBob.
Y'all would really do that to me if I left.
We can't StreamYard every episode, because then we're going to look like Out of the Basement.
Or every other podcast on the internet.
Yeah, every other Star Wars podcast.
Will I just leave the show? Are you kicking me off?
No, we're going to put you on the TV. That's what we're saying. We're going to be like, we're like, Karen, join the stream. And
Jackson uploaded his mental to the TV.
I also got the last few pieces of my 5s armor from Chris, the prop guy from Australia. Thank you so much. Super excited. Now I can finally finish the 5s after all this time.
Dopeness monster.
And then Jackson will get shipped off to Hawaii, and he won't be able to bring it with him. And
you
then
can join that.
I'm bringing that with me, bro. I'll pay the extra money.
And then they send you to war, and then you can't bring it with you.
He'll wear it in war.
Non-deployable for 4 years. It's okay if we go to war.
You're a deplorable? A basket of deplorables? Now that's a throwback to 2016.
Oh, that was a powerful yawn. Okay. Oh shoot. Let's
Dude, my pennies.
Oh, my guy was the one that fell.
You deserved it too.
okay.
My guy doesn't fall because he's the coolest. Just factual.
All right,
He
guys.
didn't fall.
So we are going to do a little bit of a freeform topic for the podcast.
Yeah.
Last week on the show, I had
jazz.
Hunter, 212 Hunter and Hybrid Toy Reviews on
There
the
goes
show.
the display already.
And the three of us...
You need to stim, we know.
Shut up. I like playing with the cool action figure that Cook made me.
Every
Let me
episode,
play
Jackson.
with it, bro. It's fun
Jackson's got his little poppet.
Y'all are both dicks to
I'm going
me,
to get you a
dude.
fidget spinner for Christmas.
Dude, do not buy me a fidget spinner.
I'll take one.
So last week, when I had those two guys on the show, we did... Bro, you gotta stop doing
You gotta
whatever.
stop
my
that, bro.
throat's-
You did
my-
that in Tika's too. and
My
it's
throat
mad
is so
pissing me
itchy.
off.
My throat is so itchy.
Mad pissing me off.
Unless you're gonna get back there and scratch it with your cock.
Quit
I'll
your
stop.
yap sesh. Quit
Whoa.
your yap sesh.
So,
The 1313 podcast slowly becomes less and less family friendly.
literally. So, basically, guys, we did a freeform topic, and there were a couple things we talked about on last week's show that I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Okay.
Okay, one conversation we got into was about the nitpicking with a lot of fans, or, well, I should say viewers of Star Wars. What are some of the most memorable nitpicks that people have had about Star Wars within the last, 10 years? Like, for example,
most memorable?
people complaining about the font of the opening crawl of Ahsoka. Remember that one?
No.
Yeah.
You don't remember
I
people
didn't even
complaining
know people were complaining about that.
on Discords that will not be named?
On Discords that will not be named. Oh, the Night Trooper. That was a really funny nitpick because one person on a Discord that will not be named was like, guys, the Night Trooper was just not cool. And then everybody crucified this man. It was like it was an army of Star Wars fans that's just killed this one guy for his opinion. And it was so funny. It was so perfect.
How can the bombers drop the bombs in space? There's no gravity.
Dude.
There's no gravity in
There's
space.
no gravity. And literally in Return of the Jedi, when the Star Destroyer goes.
But
it
that's
burnt-
because it's within the orbit of the Death Star. Because there's artificial gravity, so it's creating its own
I hate
gravity
hearing
well.
that. I hate hearing it. I guess another hot one for me is just anything Kathleen Kennedy related. I feel
Yeah,
like that's
I
like the
agree.
most cringy nitpick
Well,
ever.
and your favorite show, South Park,
penny
just
for your
revealed,
thought.
Yeah,
just
South
released
Park
an
did a
episode.
whole trash of Kathleen Kennedy making everything a woman and gay, which was real. It's an over exaggeration, but it's really, 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 really funny.
Well, South Park is like what's the word? It's like
It's meant to be
hyperbolized.
satire.
Yeah. Mhm,
It's
yeah.
100% meant to commentate on the world and things that happen. So like the whole episode is a spin-off where all the main characters suddenly turn into women of different ethnicities, and then they're also gay too.
Did you see that episode sparked some female actress that worked under Kathleen Kennedy to go off on Kathleen Kennedy about how she was like a nightmare to work with? Or
Like
some-
I'm not gonna doubt. Like at the end of the day, like
Have you heard what Steven Spielberg has said about Kathleen
No.
Kennedy? Like in the writing of like the Indiana Jones movies about how she was like a night. He's like, she's terrible at taking notes, but she's really good at giving you bad ideas. Like so, it was something like real like out of pocket or something. I can't
That's
remember.
funny.
But
I mean, yeah, not a lot
hi,
of
Kathleen
people
Kennedy.
like her.
You might
She-
be my boss someday.
She
so.
doesn't destroy Star Wars, nor did she do that. I'm like
No,
a
yeah.
very hard believer of that. People just seriously do not like not anything new. Like I've had people argue with me that like, oh, you know, it's a real good nitpick from Erie Con. But this guy wanted to argue with me that the relationship between Ezra and Sabine was a brotherly and sisterly love instead of like a romantic love, like how it was hinted to be in Rebels, and how it threw off the entire dynamic of their characters and ruined it completely for the show, and how it was no longer acceptable to watch. And I
The
was like,
craziest part about that dynamic is that it was only Ezra who had a crush on Sabine.
Yep.
Throughout the entire
Yup.
4 seasons, Sabine never once has any sort of semblance of romantic feelings
she
for
doesn't
Ezra.
flirt with him. She doesn't like him.
Well, it's only for the first
He's just
3,
like-
and then at the final season, it's become like comrades and like brother and sister.
Right.
Yup.
Exactly. And it's also because Ezra's immature. in the beginning
That
seasons.
was a really funny take.
When was the last time Ezra hung out with a girl around his age? Think about that.
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he hangs out with crabs.
Now he hangs out with crabs.
No, let's be honest, y'all. Is he clapping crab cheeks?
Well, he's about to steal Kanan's girl, I'll tell you that much. Food for thought. Ho, ho, ho!
Not food for thought.
I don't want to
bro.
think about that at all. Not for a moment do I want to think about it.
Clone armor's another real big nitpick. Cry about it.
Hey, Hera, I'm home. Ha
Yeah, I hate people that are complaining about how the live action Phase 1 armor is like the mix of the animated and the what. They're like, this is not Phase 1 armor. This is not what it looks like. I'm like, guess what? You've also never seen real live action Phase 1 clone armor. You've never seen actual, like, physical Phase 1 armor ever.
That's an interesting thing to bring up. I'm going to give the perspective of the elitist 501st armor.
Not this guy.
So,
oh, brother, this guy stinks.
when it comes to that stuff, I agree with you on the point that, like, Phase 1, like, not Phase 1, but live action clone troopers were just not a thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, you can only get so mad at things like I'm okay with the cut in the cod piece so they can actually kneel down. I'm okay with making the like cutting the chest armor so that you can actually move your arms around in it. Mm-hmm. That stuff I'm okay with all day long. There are some things though that I think could have been executed better. Like, for example, in the Ahsoka series, which those clones are also different from the clones in Book of Boba. Yep. And those clones are different from the Obi-Wan and Andor clones.
Yep.
They're tweaking it and they're getting it, like, they're fine-tuning it. But I'm, like, not a fan of the whole, like, the way the gauntlets, like, fold over themselves. And it looks like if someone, like, took a piece of paper and, like, rolled it over your arm and one side of the paper lays on top of the other, that's how the forearms
so it clips together? No,
rather than just, like, connecting. But then again, it's like with most clone armor, the gauntlets just slide right on. You don't have to... It's not even a piece that you'd have to, like, clip on.
It makes sense. It makes better sense, though, for it to clip over. Because if it slides on, then it slides down. If you could clip it... Well, I'm saying, like, if you have to mass manufacture these, and although they're clone troopers, they're not all going to have the exact same fit for every one of them.
Y'all got a piece of paper? What's this? What's this? Oh, that's the packing tape. But yeah, it's like if you were to fold a piece of paper over itself.
I know what you mean.
It just, in my opinion, doesn't look as clean as armor that...
I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta look it up.
I know exactly what he's talking about. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. What else did you talk? I didn't get to catch up on that episode at all, unfortunately.
We talked about...
probably will when I have to go down somewhere.
Dude, I had to like end the episode because we started talking about nitpicks and we just kept going, and I was like, this episode is never going to end.
Yeah, you could go on forever. We don't want to make this the 1313 yap session.
The yap session, yeah. But yeah, aside from that with the clone armor, I'm really not like gonna sit here and complain. Like when it comes to the helmets and stuff, so that forearm piece is all one piece. Like it doesn't fold over itself. Like it literally, the armor folds. That one doesn't either because it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi clone.
It's Kenobi.
Well, no,
but see how this one...
This is the Kenobi clone.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Ahsoka clones. This one is fine because it just connects. There's a seam, yes, but it just connects. The one in the Ahsoka show, the one side folds over, and to me it just looks weird, especially with how if they did it fine with the Kenobi show. But then again, that could also just be the costume people not knowing what they're doing because they also put Rex's arms on backwards.
Yeah, and the actor in the Rex suit did admit that the person putting on his costume put that on the wrong way and he was trying to fix it and he couldn't, so...
Yeah.
There was literally nothing that guy could do. Elbows flared out all the way.
That's just the little things that I think that... I would say that's probably the only thing that Star Wars needs to work on a little bit more. It's
a process.
Is making, like... Is paying attention to the little details.
Stormtrooper helmets and a lot of the armor are different in the movies because they're different sizes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
A New Hope versus Revenge versus Return.
Yeah, this helmet is clean though.
Oh yeah,
the helmet's clean. That's what I mean. I'm not going to sit here and complain about the look of most of the stuff.
Yeah.
I do think his pauldron could be a little bigger on the blue part though.
Really?
Just a little bit.
I disagree.
Just because it was so much bigger in the Clone Wars. Like just drape it over the shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
He looks cute. He looks cute.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
like the hot toy.
Well, it's
one
also
looks
like the angle of it. You're not seeing like how far it sticks out, so it might actually
good.
go out a little
my
further.
figure.
Oh, my
Sorry,
figure doesn't fall down. My
He
figure doesn't
knocked it
fall
over.
down.
That's why it fell, bro. I'm not even gonna take it.
Oh,
from
that
him.
might be a good picture then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good picture because that shows it.
Oh, you can't
We're
tell.
really talking about things that the viewers cannot see.
Also, right behind him is the CG clone.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of funny.
But it's the scene specifically where Ahsoka's like sitting with the dead clone and he like puts his arm up to her and
Yeah.
you can see the gauntlet is like folded over itself.
I do understand
was the
what you're
whole
talking about.
Time to go research.
And again,
Alright.
it's such a tiny thing, and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But as someone who like has made armor and like has gone through the process, I'm like, I just don't think that looks as good as like with the Obi-Wan Kenobi clones. That looked good.
What's maybe a hot take that you have on some of these nitpicks that we have that you might secretly agree with after all?
Ooh. Well, I think that's tough.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just looks weird. The rest of it looks
Can we
good.
just get off the forum, please? So isn't talking about the forum for 10 minutes while the viewership cries and then we lose
It's
our
a Star
watch
Wars
hours?
podcast, bro. This is what
We're
we
talking
do.
about nitpicks,
This
so
is what we
we're
do.
picnicking.
That's it. That's the only thing that I'm like that looks strange. But
Whoa! But did you see like on the clone next to her? It snaps together.
that's what I mean. So it must have been a costume flaw.
It might just be a costume because on the one that's laying next to her, it's fine. So it might just be like this scene, the snap came undone.
Yeah.
Or they needed to
Maybe.
shrink it a little bit just to fit the actor a little bit. Because, oh my gosh, that Phase 1 Rex is
Phase
so
1
good.
Rex.
At least they got his
Freaking-
arms right.
Yeah. His pauldron's huge too, so at least you know.
That's what I mean. I thought that pauldron was a touch too big for that
Nah.
one.
There's no Goldilocks pauldron for Tommy.
Those are my nitpicks, my like ridiculous nitpicks, because it's something that doesn't matter at all.
My nitpicks is the big nitpick. The season finale of Book of Boba sucks. That's my nitpick.
Oh, dude, this is one that I agree with. The whole like where there was like that one episode argument between the people of Freetown and then like the city slicker moped people, and then they learn to become friends and work together. I'm like, that is the most lame. That like
Dang.
these two brand new characters that no one cares about at all, like learning to be friends and hold hands.
Yeah,
like
I
it's
thought
like,
that was pretty lame.
dude, like it's
Like I liked Book of Boba a lot, but there's a lot of parts. I understand the hate that it gets. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I completely.
Well, I understand.
Yeah, I can get
I
it.
understand the hate with like the moped chase.
Oh, the moped
the
chase
moped
is so,
is-
it's bad.
It was filmed in a way that makes it look so much slower than it actually
And
is.
again, I'll always argue that I feel like it was just a stylistic choice to make it comically slow.
No, that was Robert
But then-
Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah, but then people don't understand that. They think it needs to be Attack of the Clones at the beginning and Coruscant, like a chase.
Granted, it should be fast. It should look faster. But that's the thing about
There's no tension or stakes. It's just like, oh,
if they had
Major
chosen
Domo.
different camera angles instead of like these just wide angles that pan over and you see the speeder go and then you see the practical mopeds just like putsy farting along. That's where I was kind of like, yeah, I get that nitpick.
Yeah, but I mean, like something like that doesn't ruin the show.
This was another thing I talked to the dudes about last week.
Okay.
So I think I rationalized the whole like Mando with Rangers of the New Republic like being shelved. So this is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Mando season 2 comes out.
Okay.
It comes and goes. They set up that they were going to make Cara Dune the main character of Rangers of the New Republic. And they announced it at whatever Comic-Con or whatever it was when they announced all the shows. They announced that. And then the whole thing happened with Gina Carano. Everyone already knows it. If you don't know it, go look it up. We're not going to sit here and explain it to you. That happened, and then John and Dave got put in a situation where they planned this whole thing out, like all the shows, how they're going to connect. So now you have a show that you were going to center around this one character.
a puzzle piece missing.
All of a sudden,
Yep.
you have the puzzle piece missing. Because I was thinking, like, why does Book of Boba Fett have 7 episodes, but every other show has had 6 or 8? And if you think about it, there's one episode in Book of Boba that's all Mando. Boba's not even in the episode. So I'm wondering, this is what I kind of pieced together. So because they wanted to still tell the story of Rangers of the New Republic, but now they had to sprinkle it into everything else, I'm thinking their first step was, well, Boba's going to have to get sidelined in his own show. And we're going to have to do an episode that was going to be in Mando Season 3, where Grogu and Mando reunite. We're going to have to insert that story plot, that story beat into Book of Boba. And therefore, it's going to have to gain an episode and not be 6. It's going to be 7. So they do that whole thing. Then they do the same thing in Mando Season 3. I think that there was supposed to be a little bit more time with like Mando and, you know, maybe Mando by himself, not so much Grogu. But because of Rangers, they had that like whole episode that happened on Coruscant with the Dr. Pershing and Moff Gideon's like right-hand woman. That whole thing. I think that was also another part. And then again, I think it also was played into with Ahsoka, although I think they did a lot smoother of a job of putting that into the main story of the show. Was where they do like the For the Empire and they like turn on them all. I think that all of that stuff, and like where Carson Teva goes to the shuttle and he's like, wait, where's Moff Gideon? You know, I think that was all supposed to be in Rangers of the New Republic, and it was going to end with Carson Teva being like, wait, where's Moff Gideon? And instead of it being him that travels to go see Din, it was supposed to be Cara Dune, because that would fit a little. Maybe they go together or something. But what happened, and we got the content already came out. But I think that was. Do you think of that? Do you think that's a good idea, like a good way to
for Carson Tave's character to take Cara Dune's role?
Yeah.
See,
I think they should have just done Rangers of the New Republic and just made either Hera or Carson.
That's what I was just
character.
about to argue. I wish they would have taken the risk.
They still might.
Carson Teva still has such a really decent. Oh my gosh, what's the word? Fans really like Carson Teva right now.
Yeah.
So I wish they maybe would have just taken the risk and made him the main character of Rangers of the New Republic, because he's kind of stepped into this role of the only person in the Resistance who cares about doing anything to save the galaxy. Because you have all these people politically aligned with the Empire.
The New Republic? They're not the Resistance.
My bad.
Silly
cringe
goofy.
Cringe moment. I'm a fake Star Wars fan.
He's yapping.
Yeah, Carson Teva is a really, really good character. So I just wish they would use him at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have been using it more. They're probably gonna use it more now.
But yeah, I 100% believe that's why we get the weird Mando episode in Boba and all the other like beats in the other shows too. That those are, I feel like, the most hated episodes too in the shows, minus the Mando one in Book of Boba. People go crazy over that because the action was amazing. But like, yeah, because it takes you away from. Thank you, Mr. Twitch. Because it just takes you away kind of like from what's going on. It's a little bit weird, but to tell the story, I'm not going to complain because they needed to say it somehow. What were you going to do? Put that detail in a book later?
I think that's honestly my biggest frustration with, like, there are writers that want to just tell a story, and constantly, ever since Disney purchased Star Wars, there's constantly this like in the background that never gets talked about, never gets like, officially announced. And we always have to sit here and like wonder and ponder over, oh, why did this get changed? Why did this get changed? When really it's Disney is too worried about their shareholders, and you have a bunch of people in suits that are not creatives. And we've talked about this a million times that come down and just ruin everything for the people that are trying to make an entertaining story. And then you have people like Kathleen Kennedy who get put in the spotlight and get the one that's blamed for everything, when really she's put in difficult positions time and time again because Disney execs and shareholders and people who are moving the money around want to make money, and so they're just like, oh, well, you need to do this instead. You need to do this instead. You need to bring Grogu back sooner because he's a moneymaker.
Yeah,
he
that
sells
was
the merch.
100% a shareholder thing. They just, I kind of wish, and I could understand a Mando Season 3 where Grogu never comes back, and it's this whole story of Mandalore, and we don't get Grogu at all, and that would have been fine. But me personally, I feel like the ending of Mando Season 3 was perfect. I really liked the wrap-up of the father and son story that they were trying to tell with Din and Grogu, and I feel like it was fitting.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with how that worked out in the end. Not upset about that at all.
So, moving away from this topic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What does the Yap Man want to talk about?
What do you guys... Because I'm tired of hearing about, this makes me upset. I want to hear something positive. What are we most excited for coming in the future?
to rewatch Ahsoka and the Bad Batch.
No, I mean
those are
like
my
new
favorite
shows.
I'm excited.
Things.
I'm
You
excited.
said positive things, bro.
No, like things that are coming new. Like, what are you most looking
We
forward
don't know
to?
what's coming next.
We know what's coming next.
Sort of.
We have new season of Bad Batch coming next year.
Yes.
Acolyte and Andor season 2 and a new thing of Tales of the Jedi. Those are what we know are coming next year.
Yes.
Well, obviously, my biggest one. I just rewatched all of the Bad Batch, so I'm most excited for
Yep.
Bad Batch season 3.
Bad Batch, I agree. The Bad Batch is literally one of my most favorite shows that they've come out with. Again, Ahsoka's up there right now, but I was just right now thinking about re-downloading all the episodes of Bad Batch to watch on my trip down this weekend. But it just wins every single time. I think it was a week ago. I was just making a boy dinner, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like what do I watch with a dinner? Because if you're a man like me, you can't eat your food without a YouTube video. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'll rewatch the episode with Crosshair and Cody. Or even just rewatched The Outpost again. Just amazing episodes of The Bad Batch that hit every time.
Bad Batch, when I rewatched it and Tech died, it hit me like harder emotionally knowing it was coming.
Yep.
And I had such like an emotional reaction to it. And it was especially like with Omega, like in when she wakes up on Ord Mantell and she forgets for a second everything that happened and then realizes again, and it just has like that trauma all over again. I'm like, oh, dude. Like
Yeah.
I was like tears streaming down my face. I'm like, I don't know. It's a big thing. Big part of it is like the clones were always such a special part of my Star Wars experience. So I think that like I was the kid that would get upset when the nameless clone trooper would get shot or die in the Clone Wars, you know?
Yeah.
So that's I think why I'm so connected to the show. Whereas I can understand why like other fans are not, because they don't care about the clone troopers like we do. You know?
What about you, Jake?
I'm excited for Andor season 2.
That is going to be.
I'm so excited for Andor season 2, just because Andor season 1 like took my breath away. Like
I need to rewatch that.
it's still
so
like
bad.
it's everything that we've watched Star Wars. I've been like, wow, this is like really good. But usually part of that, wow, this is really good, is because Thrawn's there or Ahsoka's there or Mando's there. It's the first thing that all of us were like, this. It's going to be a show. None of us are really excited for it. And then it just blew our dicks off. Like, it was amazing.
That's how I'm kind of feeling. I kind of feel that way about the Acolyte. Like, I'm not excited for it that much.
But I'm really...
But it's going to probably be.
But I feel like it's going to be fire.
I'm optimistic for it. I'm pretty optimistic for it. Because I'm going to enjoy the show no matter what. I'm just really... I don't want to hear our crummy fan base of Star Wars nerds get upset because it's woke and there's like there's more than
women's society.
There's women and there's people that aren't white men in this. I hate it. I'm like
Can we just not, y'all?
I'm like,
please?
I know, I can smell those comments a mile away.
Then there's the other, like, that's why I don't go on Twitter like at all. X. I don't
Somebody
go on
complained
X.
that the 1313X is dead. There is a reason for it.
There's a reason for it, because every time I go on X and I'm like tweeting about Star Wars, I'll like tweet for a couple days, like a few times a day, and they'll start to pick up a couple likes, and then all of a sudden it's like one of the two like camps on X. It's like one is, and they like, it's so annoying because it's Star Wars fans that connect their whole life as their political identity. And they connect that to
They live on the
Star
internet.
Wars, and they just look for arguments, because I don't know how these people have so much time in their day. There's people that tweet like 90 times a day.
Yeah.
The only time the 1313X is now active is when I'm getting really mad at the Steelers game and I decide to tweet at
Dude,
Matt
I've
Canada.
seen that a couple times
Dude, it's
in the last like month.
It's really funny because I'll just be getting mad. I'm like, I'm going to join into the fight. Because it's just like, you'll see like Tommy's like, video's now live. This thing is really good. Fire Matt Canada.
The 1313X kind of out of pocket,
But yeah, it's like you'll sit there and like you'll tweet something, and then you have the ones that are like super focused on like identity politics, and that's all they talk about. And then you have the ones that are like you were just saying are like super like anti like anything that's, you know, diverse or anything like that. And it's like, bro, that's what's beautiful about Star Wars, is that stuff doesn't exist in that universe. So let's please, for the love of God, not try and insert it into a universe where it doesn't canonically exist.
that is factual.
The people, I still think it's like all the people that yell about diversity now in cinema. There's just people that haven't like experienced it. Like I never understood it until Cal Kestis came around. And the redhead wasn't the fat nerd comic relief, or the redheaded stepchild that nobody wanted, or like the kid that was just there because they were like, oh, we want somebody to look. It's a character that's cool, and he has like he looks like me, and it's like it's like the Danny DeVito thing.
Jacob went, it's him. I'm him.
Yes, I was like, I get it now. I understand because now there's like because the entire time it's like, oh, I want to cosplay Anakin, but I can't grow out my hair, and I don't have brown hair, so I can't do it naturally, and I never want to dye my hair. But now it's like, oh, now I have a character that like I fully can connect with how I. So it's like I understand now why characters like Miles Morales are so important for cinema, and I understand why having a character like Rey is so important. It's like now I understand it. So and now when I see people like, but scientifically the mermaids would not be that color. I'm like, dude, just shut up. Just shut up. It's just dumb at this point.
The arguing. Kind of hitting on that arguing point, it's really funny sometimes just to like instigate it. So like I didn't mean to instigate this, but if you look at it's my personal account, I'm pretty sure there was the Yak post where he had posted about the Luke 4-pack that's going to be the Pulse exclusive, and I just commented, I was like, this is a W for Legends fans. And I was like, cool, this is like a really cool thing because I hate Legends. If you know me and people know me in public and watch the show and still tell me to read the Legends books and I go, nope, screw you, I won't, because I hate the Legends material. It is what it is.
You gotta read.
I mean, Legends despise.
You gotta experience. You have to experience Death Troopers though.
Might one day.
Death Troopers is on another plane because everything else Legends is like, oh, Luke Skywalker on this epic quest. Death Troopers is, guys, everybody dies. Everybody dies, guys. And let me write it in the most gruesome way I could possibly think of.
But getting back to my point, so I just said, hey, this is really good for the Legends folks who really care about this stuff because they don't get represented a lot in the Black Series at all.
I'm excited.
And then I had for 3 days straight like so many replies talking about how it is not a W for the Legends fans. If it was a W, it would be in the 3 3/4 size, or like
it would be a retro figure.
It would be a retro. It like just like basically saying how I was so wrong and stupid for that, and I was just so I don't reply because I think it's just funny to see it happen. And these people argued in my comment for 3 days, and I never said a thing. But
they argue with each other, man.
They argued with each other. They could have made their own damn comment thread.
There was it's like when I tweeted about the HasLab Ghost, and I was like, if you are complaining about it being too expensive, just say you're broke.
Just say you're broke.
And there were
that was so funny.
There
that
were people
was so hilarious.
There were people in there that were like finding my personal like Instagram and DMing me and being like you are just such a terrible, awful person. I'm like, bro, it's a tweet.
It's a tweet.
You're gonna be okay.
It's also a joke.
And yeah, but also you're broke. That's why you're mad.
I didn't buy the ghost because I was broke.
It's like I feel. Granted, I'd feel bad for people that really wanted it and genuinely like couldn't afford it.
Right.
When all of y'all when it fully funded and every single one of you guys was like, guys, I get all my tears. I was like, I wish I was in that crowd. I missed out.
You did.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
it's
have
gonna,
the money, bro.
I gotta go.
I just simply no, you didn't.
Yeah,
Dad was saying that was cap.
I was gonna hold that joke on forever.
Dad was saying that was cap. Your $1.50 in your bank account says otherwise, Jacob.
Dude,
your meta glasses say otherwise, Jacob.
Dude, that was an investment.
The thing about it though is like, it's just gonna be like everything else as a collector. You play with it for 2 seconds. Maybe you do a review on it if that's what you do, and then you put it on your shelf, and then you maybe touch it like once in a blue moon.
See,
that's
my
really
philosophy, for at least not getting it and trying to justify in my mind not getting it is, again, I might be moving in 6 months, and I can't take something that large in a suitcase on a plane and then take everything else that I'm going to need in the same suitcase.
Well, that's exactly it. Like when I get my Ghost, I already like it's going to be a centerpiece in a piece of furniture in my house, like that. That's one of the only ways that you can display something like that.
Resin epoxy.
That'd be wild.
Giant
That would
cube
be
epoxy
weird,
with
bro.
the ghost in the middle.
See, that's how I am about the, like, I'm actually really, really excited for the Venator, and I really want the Venator, but
Dude.
I cannot think of a single way to get it.
I don't know where I would put it, but I
That's
really
know
want.
where
I mean,
At
remember
this-
I sold my Lego UCS gunship, and
Same
I
with- yeah.
I love that thing, and there are days where I do regret that I sold it,
It's still
I'm like,
available, bro.
I know, but
It's about to
that
retire,
too,
though.
That too, but I'm like, where would I put it? Like, what would I do with it?
Just
you
give it
know?
to me. I'll put it on my shelf for you.
Or even like the new Coruscant gunship. I've always wanted an ATTE, and I've always wanted a gunship, and now I'm at the point where like, crap, I really, really want this Lego set, and I'm like, but if I move, what am I gonna do?
But that's why Micro Galaxy Squadron's so nice, because they're making they pipelined an ATTE.
Nice.
So
I have the Plos Bros gunship. That was always my favorite.
you can have a tiny one, and there you go. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and you know.
True.
I like
guess.
I like Lego though because it's like the experience of building it. But my
Right.
whole thing is right
It
now
is.
is I have no more space for my Legos. Like my shelf is full, and it's like it's either I have to A, start deconstructing sets and putting them back in their box, or B, put up more shelves.
Did I
And-
tell you guys when I drunkenly bought a Lego set like 2 weeks
No.
ago?
No.
Oh, I told this on the Creators Guild, and it was like they got a kick out of it. So I went out. I got invited to go out with some coworkers a couple weeks ago. And we went out. It was like happy hours. They were doing like
Yeah.
$5 Long Islands, which are like that's just like straight whiskey with like a couple other things. And so I was there for like 2 hours. I think I had like 5 of them. And they were huge. They were like those big fishbowl cups. Dude, I was sucking them down, man. So I left. I definitely I wasn't drunk, but I was feeling happy, you know? And I was like, I'm going to go to Target. So I drove to Target and I could drive fine.
does not
I could
condone
drive-
consuming an excessive amount of alcohol and then driving
Maybe
afterwards.
we shouldn't say this because a dude got capped on Facebook for just posting a picture with beer.
For posting a picture.
Remember
with
that
beer.
officer that got lost
Yeah,
his job?
dude, that's different though. This is a story. It happened in the past and I wasn't even drunk. I drunkenly did something, but I wasn't drunk. So I went to Target.
He ain't drunk. He ain't a
So
rapper.
I went to Target and I'm like walking through. I'm talking to my girlfriend on the phone, and I'm like mid sentence, and I just go, "Oh man, the Lego 8TX130." I was like, I go, "This is gonna
from
retire."
Andor?
No, the one with the Lean Troopers.
No, dude,
And
I
go,
need that one
I go,
too.
"Oh man,
Damn.
this is gonna retire at the end of the year." And I was like, $40. Do I buy it? And she's like, "Do you really need it?" And I go, "I think I do." And I just grabbed it. I grabbed that, like a stick of deodorant, like something else, and just like drove home. And then I sat down. Like by the time I got home, I was completely sober. Like that's what I mean. I wasn't drunk. I was like fine, like in 20 minutes. And so I get home and I'm sitting with it at my desk and I'm just looking at it and I'm like, why did I buy this? It's still sitting there. I'm gonna build it. One of these days I'm gonna build it.
I still have to build the Inquisitor scythe, and I keep saying we're gonna
Did
build.
you get that for last Christmas?
Yeah, but I have nowhere to put it. Like that's my thing. There's because it would have gone in the Indiana Jones area if the Indiana Jones area would have became a thing.
Buy more shelves.
I'm gonna the shelves that house my Marvel and my horror figures. I'm gonna take that giant thing down. I'm just gonna layer that whole wall.
That's fair.
That was my fun story.
Jeez,
Action
dude.
Display thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Action Display is also just a G, so
Action Display, his biggest mortal enemy in life is knowing that Americans have coupons. That is
do Croatians not get coupons?
They're not a thing there. So we'll talk about, oh, I got 5% off on this purchase, or I got $5, and he will lose his mind and make endless backhanded jokes and be like, oh, and did you get a coupon for that?
Did you get coupon for that?
Shout out to Action Display.
He's the homie.
He's also really hot, but that's beside the point. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there was. I don't know. There's other stuff though, and that's the dilemma of being a collector and that being our hobby is you're fighting for space.
Exactly. All the
time.
Even on the shelf that I got from the dump, the bottom shelf was meant to be for
Guys, I have to poop. Go poop, bro. Jackson and I are
Let's
having a nice
start
little
out.
convo.
No, bro, I could tell.
Let's finish our convo.
Oh no,
bro.
I'm gonna let you finish your
I'm
convo.
going.
I'm just making the statement that
Oh, this is gonna be one of those.
No, the second this ends, I'm running.
No, but that's the. I'll make it quick. That's the dilemma of collecting.
Yup.
It's like I want to get the little Annie that they just revealed, and the Padme that just got revealed, and I'm like, but my collector brain goes, well, if I get those, then I'm gonna have to get Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Jar Jar, whatever else they put out for Phantom, and it's like, bro, like I just can't bring myself.
Yeah, like
to, but then I'll probably end up doing it because I find creative ways to make more space.
You gaslight yourself.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's awful.
Like I was excited for the Clone Wars wave, and I'll probably just sell Jacob my Magna Guard. I'm announcing that now. Jacob, if you want it, you can just pay me like $20 and I'll give it to you.
Or you can just give it to me.
No, I'd rather not.
You could just give it to him. Christmas gift.
It's not his
stocking
birthday
stuffer.
No, he's gonna cry when he gets his birthday present though.
What'd you get him?
He keeps saying this.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Say it on the pod right now.
No, I'll tell you when he goes to poop.
Live on the pod.
Not live on the pod though.
But
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but I know that a lot of people enjoyed.
I can only imagine. It's gonna be like a butter sock from iCarly. Dude, I got you.
It's gonna be wet mittens. I know a lot of people.
Dude, 1 year for Christmas, he bought me a lock in elementary school.
I thought he would like it, though.
It was like literally like a padlock and key, and he got me it for Christmas. I was like, thanks.
My brother got me.
I had no clue what to do with it. I put it on the zipper of a backpack, and then I lost the key.
3 years ago for Christmas, my brother, back when they had the little like Santa shop they set up in school.
That's
where it came from.
Shitty gifts that they give. My brother got me a keychain that was a flashlight and a bottle opener, and this was before I was like old enough to drink, so I was like, this is the most useless thing in the world, but I always had it on my keys. I have used that thing so many times in the last 2 years. Nice. Let me say. But yeah, I know a lot of people enjoy
that lock though. I think I got you though like a rubber duck that was like had like
that was cool. I like that,
and then it like lasted 6 months.
Yeah,
and
because you could stim with it.
Jackson could stim with it.
But I know a lot of people like when we do our freeform topics.
Jackson been stimming since he was a kid.
I know a lot of people like when we do our freeform topics on the podcast, so I've been enjoying just like kind of
freeform is fun,
spitball talking.
And don't worry, guys, I think the poop has receded, so we got more time.
Oh yeah,
we can wrap it. We can wrap it.
It crawled back up, but I know the second I stand up, it's gonna. Whoa.
I think it'd be fun if in a couple weeks we did a full episode where we just did like who has the list of the best nitpicks. Like the Star Wars fans, like ones that we make fun of, not ones that we agree with, but like stuff that we've seen where we're like, oh my god, there's no way. And if we do like a competition, and again we do a punishment,
okay,
whoever has the best
Let's
list of
schedule
nitpicks,
that. We could do that. We could do that.
We've set it out for like a couple weeks.
Put that away.
Whoa!
Put that away.
My eyes. Jacob just showed me ugly.
We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up. We're done. We're done. Turn it off. Turn the lights off. We're done with the podcast.
Don't get those lights off.
Oh my god.
All right, and that by decree of Jackson, thank you guys so much for joining this episode of the 13th. Thank you guys for joining this episode of the 1313 podcast. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. And maybe subscribe. This is terrible. That's a running joke between my friend group at college. We like when we were filming, we'd be like, quiet on set. It was bad. It was really bad. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, Patreon, join the channel, all of our social media down below. Check out the Halloween special if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Ho, ho, ho.
Hey, this is Vanessa Marshall. I play Hera Syndulla on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the 1313 podcast.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hum da da hum da da hum dum dum da. Hum da da hum da da dum dum da dum. Ba-do 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 ba-dum ba-ba-dum ba-do ba-dum ba-do ba-dum ba-do ba-dum dum.